Welcome to our video on how to use the BCDC2E documents. Note that this video is for BCDC2E for prime contractors submitting bids online. There is a separate video for the BCDC2 documents for paper closings where bids are submitted in envelopes. This video mainly provides information on how to use the PDF form filler documents. However, there is a brief overview of the guideline documents at the end of this video. We would recommend that you read and familiarize yourself with these guidelines as well. As mentioned in our introduction, there are two BCDC documents. BCDC2 for paper closing, where bids are submitted in envelopes, and BCDC2E for online bidding. Online, you can choose which of the documents you want to use. Registration is required to use the PDF form filler documents. Registration is required to access and download the PDF form filler documents. Registration for one document will provide you access to both BCDC2E and BCDC2. Note that these documents are protected by copyright and have PDF security properties in place to protect the integrity of the documents. Once the form filler document has been downloaded, you can use it by filling in the form fields with the information specific to your project. This document is made up of three parts which are required to be used together: instructions to bidders, bid form, and standard supplementary conditions. Each of these parts has a separate header for the project information, which allows you to give each part its own specification name and section number. Suggestions which follow those recommended for master format numbering of sections have been provided in 2.1 of the guideline. Fill in the appropriate information on this page. A checklist to assist you with completing these forms has been provided in 2.2 of the guideline. Pages 3 and 4 of the instructions to bidders will have the header information duplicated from the first page. Page numbering has already been provided, but can be amended if required. Like the previous pages, page 4 and 5 have the duplicate header information. On page 4, you list any subcontractors closing through the specified method for submission of bids. For assistance in defining what trades usually close online, refer to the information in the written guideline document for BCDC2E. You can list them here and/or make reference to those listed on Appendix A of the bid form. If there are no non-bonded trades, then list that part as not applicable. Note on page 5, Clause 13 for online bidding, there is the link to the Terms and Conditions and Privacy Policy. These conditions are included in the documents by reference to this link. The second part of the form filler documents is the bid form. This part has a separate header which is duplicated on the next 8 pages. The bid form and several of the following appendices are included as a means to identify to the bidders what information is required to be provided online. This form is not submitted or uploaded online. As well as the appropriate project information, this page may require choosing the appropriate reference for substantial performance on the project under Item A. The form defaults to the first item but will change to any other choice by clicking on the appropriate box. Refer to the guideline document for additional information on how to complete the substantial performance of identification for the documents. The second page of this part of the bid form will have the duplicate header. Like the first page, this document is for information only. Fill in the correct period under C to identify the acceptance period for the bid. The form defaults to 30 days. Page 3 of this part is for the listing of subcontractors. This page has been created to allow the option of having the bidders provide the information in either of two ways. The information can be provided by submitting it online, which is the default process shown on this form. However, the alternative option also exists to have the bidders upload this form as part of the bid submission. To do this, the user would change the wording in the field at the top right and the bottom to advise the bidders they must provide this form online and they will upload it with their bid. The form filler fields have been pre-identified for those subcontractors closing as per instructions to bidders clause 12 and those not. These identifications can be removed to use the form for an expanded list for either category. Note that to avoid a possible error, the subcontractors required should be listed on this form by the bidding authority. For those subcontractors not closing as per the instructions to bidders clause 12, they should be listed here for it to be a requirement to be submitted with the bid as well. As outlined on the following pages for other appendices, more pages can be added for an expanded list of subcontractors. Appendix B is for alternative prices. Like the first and second pages of this document, this page is for information only and is not uploaded with the bid. Note that these forms do not accommodate using the reference alternate prices and separate prices, only alternative prices. The terminology alternative price can be used for both alternate prices and separate price. Refer to the guideline document in the bid form section for more information on this procedure. This form has only a limited space for information for two alternative prices. Should additional space for information be required, we would recommend you provide a brief description and refer bidders to the specification for additional detailed information. If additional pages need to be added, they are provided online in a Word format for the flexibility to add pages as necessary. These added pages can be included by printing and scanning the document or by using Microsoft XPS Document Writer with Adobe Professional to insert the new documents. If not used, mark the document as not applicable. Appendix C is for itemized prices. Like previous pages of this document, this page is for information only and is not uploaded with the online bid. Itemized prices are for information only and differ from alternative prices in that they are not used to modify the scope of work or adjust the bid price. Refer to the guideline for additional information on itemized prices. Like Appendix B, there are additional pages provided online should there be a need for more information. If not used, mark the document as not applicable. Appendix D is for unit prices. Again, like previous pages of this document, this page is for information only and is not uploaded with the online bid. The same considerations for guidelines and additional pages applies as for other appendices. If not used, mark the document as not applicable. Appendix E is for cash allowances. Like previous pages of this document, this page is for information only and is not uploaded with the online bid. The same considerations for guidelines and additional pages applies as for other appendices. If not used, mark the document as not applicable. In the guideline document, Part 8 for specifications, there are some recommendations for the use of cash allowances. Appendix F, although provided, is not used in the online bidding process as bids are submitted online right up to closing time and do not need amendment. The next part of the document are the supplementary conditions. This part has a separate header which is duplicated on the 5 pages. Should a user wish to amend any part of the standard documents, whether it's the instructions to bidders, bid form requirements, or supplementary conditions, the project-specific amendments page is to be used. This page is included as a Word document online, as with other appendices, to provide the necessary flexibility to amend the standard document. Refer to the guideline document for additional information on using the project-specific amendments pages. Note the reference here to the requirements for the province of BC risk management where applicable. The box on this page with the risk management reference can be removed. It is only provided as a resource for those who may be required to comply with these requirements. In addition to those auxiliary pages referred to earlier in this video, there are other resource documents available here online. Written instructions how to use the form filler forms which supplement this video. Guideline Part 2.2 is provided separately as a checklist to assist with filling out the forms. Guideline Part 2.3 is provided as a separate reference where a user may want to publish it with the project documents. And Guideline Part 2.1 is provided where users may want to include some of the references in a specification. The guideline is for the BCDC2 documents and their use, but as well, it has some other resource information a user may find valuable in 2.1 of the guideline. There is a guideline for the creation of an invitation to bid. There are guidelines for Division 1 specifications for items which sometimes creep into supplementary conditions. Also provided are some valuable interpretations on some general conditions from BCDC2, which will support users in limiting supplementary conditions and assist with helpful tips on understanding the general conditions. As well, there are some specification guidelines for record drawings, cash allowances, and extended warranties, and some guidelines on site visits. Additional resource information references are also provided for BCDC documents. Finally, Part 2.3 of the guideline is a helpful resource to assist users with managing irregularities that happen from time to time on bid submissions. This ends our video on the use of BCDC2E. See our separate video to the use of BCDC2 for prime contractors submitting paper bids in envelopes.